two. I will hold off a sec just to make sure that you guys are coming on, because I know it takes y'all a quick second. Let's see here. We had some comment problems yesterday, and I'm thinking, hey Cassie, come here. Cassie's with me today. Will you guys comment so I can try to fix these comments? Let's see. Let me see if that does it. Oh no. Sorry guys. We're trying to troubleshoot here. Let's see. Hello everyone. We're trying to troubleshoot with the comments. Oh, got him. We're back in business. This is amazing. Thanks, Cassie. Cassie is here bright and early. She's like, the early bird gets the worm over here. So she is here helping me. So good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? Andrea, good morning. How are you? Oh, it's so good to see the comments again. Leanne, Ashley, good morning. Angie from Indiana. Indiana is my stomping ground. I just got back from there for Christmas. Good morning, Beth. Hello, you guys. Kimberly, how are you? Okay. Oh, this is wonderful. I was like stressing out. I love to see what you guys say. And there was no one around. Okie doke. Look, I got my little cup of coffee. Good to go. Okay, as you guys are joining, just to let you guys know, we are in, I love to see what you guys say. We are in a 21-day fast for the ministry. Now, we have done this. We did this last year. I think we did 30-day fast last year at the beginning of the year. And it went so well. So many people were introduced to fasting for the first time, and it was so great. But we are doing that again. And there is a private group. It's called Gangster Prayer Ambassadors. For you, those of you guys that don't know, Gangster Prayer is my third book that I released in 2019. All about prayer, to overhaul your prayer life. We put the link up in the caption for you guys. It's a good time to, brush up your prayer life. Just so you know, I absolutely talk completely dead straight to you guys in Gangster Prayer. It's literally my raw emotion in a book about what we need for prayer. So I would encourage you to pick it up if you want to overhaul your prayer life. I know for me personally, I was so sick of other people getting their prayers answered but me. At least that's what it sounded like. And I was like determined to see God in my life through prayer. So anyway, the link is up in the description, but you can also start fasting with us. You can start right now. We've been going for a week, but you can start right now and join us, because fasting is unbelievable what it does for you. So I am praying. Keep praying for our country, Holly says. I have prayed for our country more this year than in my 40 years of existence. It's amazing. I feel like God has asked me to do that. So I love that comment. Okay. All right. So here we are, day 2 of beginnings. Now, yesterday I was telling my husband last night, I'm like, I felt very strongly, like, you know how you talk to people and they like glaze over? And you're like talking to them and you're telling them something exciting. At least I do this a lot. And they just kind of glaze over and they're like, they just stop listening. And that's kind of how I felt like yesterday morning went. I felt like I gave you guys a lot of things to chew on, to think about. And I just want you guys to begin well this year. I want you to begin well. Like I said yesterday, I feel like the whole world doesn't even open up until like the third week of January anyways, after the holidays. But I want you guys to begin well. And yesterday we talked about in Genesis 1, in the beginning, God. We talked about starting with God. Now, it's amazing to me that some people start off out the gate with God, and then other people, you know, they have, they don't start with God. They start with themselves, and then they find they get themselves in a situation where they're like, wow, this could have been avoided if I would have sought the Lord. So begin with God. Then we say, in the beginning, God created. You didn't create anything. You know, you didn't create the new year. You're not in charge of time. That's God's job. Okay. So he has created this new year, with lots of things. So I don't want to review all of yesterday because you can just watch yesterday, but I had more to tell you yesterday. I was going to talk about something else. I am going to talk about that tomorrow. This video may be a little bit shorter. But I wanted to get, and this is all we're doing with Genesis 1. I was going to, like I said, I was going to put it in yesterday, but I decided to make it 2 days because this point is very, very important. And it's actually one of my favorite points of all time. Okay. When you begin, the things that I talked about yesterday are very, very important, but creation in Genesis 1, it gives us a good idea. It talks to us about God and what he does for us when we begin. Okay. What I did not get to yesterday is when we begin, a new job, a new marriage, being a mother, starting a ministry, starting in ministry, anywhere, going to college, going to nursing school. My roommate in college was a nurse. You would be amazed at how hard their homework is. And she was so smart and she wanted to give up every day. Okay. When you begin something different, most people tend to start doubting if they are qualified or if they are ready or if they have what it takes to see the thing that they're beginning through. Okay. This is true when in ministry. When I started the ministry in 2010, I had done ministry for years. I went to Bible college. But then I started ministry, and very, very quickly, within the first couple of weeks, I felt like I did not have what it took to do ministry. I felt like I was so inadequate. I felt like I still feel like that. I still feel like, oh my gosh, Lord, you have got to come through me because I feel so weak. I feel not worthy. I don't feel like I have what it takes to do what you've asked me to do. Now, that thinking is human and it's normal, and we all think that. I think about having my first child, Grace. You know, when I was pregnant with her, I thought, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to be a mom? I was really young when I had her. I was 25. I just turned 25 when I had her. And I thought to myself, how in the world am I going to care for another human being? How am I going to do that? Do I have what it takes to be a good mom? Do I have what it takes to actually raise a child in your word? Do I have what it takes to produce an upstanding citizen? I don't know. I didn't feel like I did. So when we begin, a lot of times, if you're human, and unless you're cocky and you're kind of a jerk, if you're human, you think to yourself, I don't know if I have what it takes to do that. And Genesis, really, if you read it well, it will encourage you like no other. It will absolutely overwhelm you with its truth that you might not have exactly what you need, but God has given you what you need. A lot of times we focus way too much on what we think we should have. We focus on the qualities that we think that we should have going into a beginning of some sort. I feel like I should be more like that person when I'm starting, a new job. Well, no. If God wanted that other person to start the new job, then he would have chose that other person to start the new job. You have what you need in you, okay? And I'm going to get to the scripture here in just a second. We have got to understand that God doesn't just throw us to the wolves and say, you know what, here's this opportunity for you in ministry or being a mom or being a wife or whatever. Good luck. Good luck. Love ya. See you later. Good luck. He doesn't just do that. He actually places in us the things that we need in order to produce in whatever opportunity we begin. And this is how I know this. I have learned this. I learned this years ago. And this is, again, what I wanted to share with you guys yesterday. I'm going to pick it up in verse 8. Now, remember, in Genesis 1, there are two types of days. There are forming days where where God formed things, okay? Remember what we talked about yesterday. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. There was no form to the earth. God had to create the form. So he created the form to the earth, and then he filled it like the sky. He filled the sky with stars, okay? So this is going to be one of those filling days when God fills the earth. And you can refer back to my video from yesterday to hear what I'm saying, okay? So let me pick it up in verse 8. God called the expanse heaven. And there was evening, and there was morning, and then there was the second day. Then God said, let waters flow, let the waters below the heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was very good. This is what I want to focus on. Then God said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding, and fruit trees on earth bearing fruit after their own kind. And this is the thing that has got me every single time I've read this. With seeds in them. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed after their own kind, and trees bearing fruit with seed in them after their own kind. And God saw that it was very good. Now, every time I read this, I'm overwhelmed because of a lot of different thoughts and a lot of different facts, but you have to sort of sit in my head to actually, the things that I think on a daily basis, I think would like make people laugh. But when I read this for the first time, when I read this a couple of years ago, this part stuck out to me. Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees on earth bearing fruit after their own kind with seed in them. And it was so. I'm going to ask you a question. When God created the trees, if God would have just created the trees and said, congratulations, trees, you're amazing, and he didn't give them the seeds that they needed inside of them to reproduce fruit, those trees would have been dead a long time ago. They would have been gone. They would have been dead. But in the wisdom of God, listen how amazing our God is. In the wisdom and the foresight of God, when he created the trees had nothing to do with producing what was inside of them. God was the one that was created. God created them, and he added something inside of the trees that we needed to have in order for the trees to reproduce, to sustain life, okay? Lord, help me explain this well. And as I was thinking of this, how much more? And we know that he put things in us so that we could reproduce as well. But when we were created, we didn't say, hey, God, I'm inadequate. He placed He placed the qualities in us that we would need in our personality, in how we looked, in where we grew up, in what parents that we had and things like that. He created and put qualities or seeds in us to help us accomplish what he wanted us to do, okay? I have a long, I'm asked all the time, how are you able to do what you do? And my answer is, I don't really know. The grace of God, I don't really know. But I do know a couple of things. I do know that God has given me like two gifts. One of them is communication, and one of them is this weird sense of like being able to talk to a phone or a radio show or a TV show or whatever. And it doesn't bother me at all. I don't care what you guys say. I just want you guys to get the word of God through to you. I do know that I have had this quality since I was a child. I do know that I have been bold since I was a child. I do know that when I was a child, I got in trouble all the time for talking. And now look, I'm using it as a profession. I do know that this is one of the seeds that God planted inside of me to develop so then I could go on to produce fruit in its time. This is what I want you guys to get today. When you look at a beginning, know that the natural qualities that you need, God has placed in you. Now, do we have to go to him for assurance? Do we have to go to him for strength? Do we have to go to him for direction? Absolutely. But you know what I could never be? I could never be an accountant. Ever. I would or someone that works with numbers or something, like that. I would go absolutely, I was a travel agent for a very short time. And which is like obsolete now. Like people just go online and book their travel. It's hilarious. That's what my degree's in, guys. Travel. And I was a travel agent and now my career is obsolete. It's pretty funny. Anyways, I went and I had to sit behind a desk for 8 hours a day. And every single day, I thought I was going crazy because I was like, I can't sit here. I have to go. I want to talk to people. I want to get out. I want to walk around. I want to, make friends, that kind of thing. God didn't give me what I needed to be an accountant and look at numbers all day long. God didn't give me what I needed to sit behind a desk all day long. That's not the seeds that God put inside of me. God put communication seeds inside of me. Most of the time, if you ask an accountant, hey, do you want to go speak from a stage? They would rather die than do that, okay? Because God didn't put those seeds inside of them. I don't know where they came from. I certainly didn't produce them. I didn't ask for them. God placed them inside of me. Because he knew what he was going to ask me to do one day. So many times we are focused on what we don't have. I don't have, I don't know, the nice quality. Those people that are just really, really nice. And you're just like, how are you so nice all the time? I'm a very nice person, but I definitely have a sarcastic side, okay? I just wish I was more nice, or I wish I was more extroverted, or I wish I was less extroverted, or I wish I had what they had. And let me tell you something, they have the qualities that they have because God placed the seeds in them that they needed in order to accomplish their purpose on the earth. God has given you the things that you have in order to accomplish what he wants you to accomplish on the earth, just like he did with the trees. He put seeds in them. They didn't ask for them, but he knew that they would need them in order to reproduce. They didn't ask to be the kind of trees that they were. Orange trees, lemon trees, apple trees, whatever they are. They didn't ask for that. God created them as specific trees with exactly what they needed in order to accomplish their purpose. And he does that for us as well. You were created with the qualities that you need in order to accomplish what you begin. Rather than focusing on what you don't have, you need to, by faith, believe that if God does it for the trees in Genesis 1, don't you think he would do it for us humans? Yes. Yes, he would. I look at all 4 of my kids. I look at Grace, just for example. She is like personality plus. The child is like president of everything. She's the cheerleader. She's in everything. As a matter of fact, yesterday I got frustrated with her because she had four practices in one day. And I'm like, how is this possible? This is a holiday. Like what is wrong with you? But she is created to cultivate life and happiness and bubbliness. And she is created to be on a stage. That is what God has placed in her. My son, Jude, who's 12, is totally different from her. He doesn't care about a stage. He likes sports a lot. But he is he's such a processor, and he's so sensitive, and he's very aware of people's problems and their needs. He's a minister by nature. So the 2 of them are completely different, but they have the seeds in them, I believe, to produce what God wants. We have Moses. My son Moses is the most high energy individual I have ever met in my life. And you know what he tells me all the time? I want to be a policeman, or I want to be in the military. He is obsessed with the military. When he sees like a jet or like a helicopter or like something like that, he is obsessed. But he's got all the little military guys that, he sits out on his dressers and stuff like that. And he plays with them and stuff like that. And I see it. I see that God has put seeds in him to do that with his high level of energy. And then I have my baby Haven, who is 5, and she is salty and she is sweet. You ever had those like pretzels dipped in caramel? She is so funny and so sarcastic, but then at the same time, she is sweet as pie. And I know that whatever God has for her, those qualities are going to be important. They don't value their qualities right now. But me, as their mother, looking into their future, I can see how God is already molding them because of the qualities he's put inside of them to manifest in their future endeavors. I can see it. They can't. They don't really see it, but I see it all over them. I want you to be encouraged today as you look at your life and as you're beginning something this year. I know that the enemy is going to come in and say and tempt you to believe that you don't have what you need in order to do what that thing is. And I want you to refer the enemy when he tempts you back to this verse. Then God said, Genesis 1:11, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants, yielding seed, and fruit trees on the earth bearing fruit after their own kind, with seeds in them. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed after their own kind, and trees bearing fruit with seed in them after their own kind. And God saw that it was good. When you, this year, start something, I want you to, by faith, believe that God has put the qualities in you. If he's provided the opportunity, he's also put the qualities in you that you need in order to tackle that opportunity. It might not feel like it. It might not look like it. It might not, you might get in and you might be so over your head. And that's when we call on the Lord for strength. But the qualities that you have, coupled with the opportunities that God provides, are an amazing recipe for an abundant life. I I've thought so many times, I can't write a book. I couldn't write a book. I don't want to write a book. I'm terrible at grammar. I didn't do very good in school. I'm great at communicating. I'm great at coming up with content, but I don't want to. Well, here I sit 3 books later. You know why? It's because right when I stepped up to the plate and determined to do it, the power of God stepped in. I did my part. He did his. I can't do a radio show. I can't do a daily radio show. I don't even know where to start. I don't have a degree in radio broadcasting. How could I do that? And then I showed up and I let God take over. And our show ran for almost 5 years. And now we're doing a podcast and tons of you guys download it every single day. I can't be a mom of 4. That would be really, really hard. Ooh, I don't know how in the world I could do that. And then I just showed up and let God take over and realize that the qualities that I have, that he planted in me, just like he did the trees, the seeds that he planted in me were exactly what he intended to use in order to allow me to be a mother of 4. Don't disrespect yourself and the Lord, telling the Lord that you're inadequate, because he knows what he placed in you. It's your job to dig deep, maybe to get uncomfortable, and to find those qualities that you need in order to begin whatever it is that God has placed in front of you. I get so sick of people saying, I can't do it. I don't allow my kids to say I can't do it. I hate it. I don't allow it when I'm counseling with people and I'm talking with people and they tell me they can't. I don't roll my eyes to them, but internally I roll my eyes and I'm like, they are disrespecting their own creation. Because if God has actually asked them to do something, they have what it takes, with God's help, to accomplish it. When you begin, know that God just doesn't create an opportunity and say, good luck, have a nice day, see you when you fail. He doesn't do that. He has placed what you need inside of you, and it's your job to seek him to find it, and it's your job to dig deep and learn, maybe for the first time, about yourself. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. I'm so excited about what I'm sharing tomorrow. It's going to be good. I was going to share it today, but I'm going to share it tomorrow. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in the morning.